So this has bugged me since I made my last video about the Zwift draft, the new gauge. When Zwift Insider said the numbers are ridiculous.
Look at that, 750 watts it says I'm saving, which is ridiculous.
I took it as gospel, as he is the man when it comes to Zwift. Honestly, he does amazing work. I simply accepted the fact that, yeah, they must be completely bonkers, especially given that he said internally Zwift has told him that they don't think the numbers are accurate. I even went as far as accepting that the theory on Zwift forums is that the number is actually the power you need to be doing that speed on the flat. But that makes zero sense. When I'm going up a steep hill doing a lot more effort than on the flat, it should have a negative number, shouldn't it? But so it doesn't make any sense at all. So I don't think that explanation is completely debunked as far as I'm concerned. It's not the power that you're doing on the flat. I honestly believe it's the power required at that very moment. Because I remembered all those years ago when I first got Source, Pack Dynamics 4.0, I think it is, that we weren't told what that number was. And so we just sort of thought about what it is to ourselves as a bug flies past. It just naturally evolved to thinking that it relates very closely to the power that you need to do at that moment in time to do that speed if you didn't have a draft. So there's no better example of why I think this. When you do a time trial, a team time trial, let's say, if you're on the front, it's been impossible to stay at the front on a long, sustained descent. You can be doing bigger numbers than you normally would do for the pull. And riders are just floating past you as if they're not trying at all, because they're not trying at all. They're having to back off just to make sure they don't go past your wheel. And so you're just pedaling like mad, swearing at them for why you stop going past me. I'm trying to do my effort here. So when Source came onto the scene, it provided the answer. The draft numbers, when added to the power you're doing, correlated very closely to the numbers that you're doing if you're at the front on the descent, trying as hard as you can to stay on the front. It seemed only logical that the number then associated with the power required, so say if Source says you're getting 500 watts assistance and you're doing 200 watts, then you need 700 watts if you're riding on your own down that hill to do that speed. Testing is really tough these days now that Zwift has limited the free accounts to only 14 days. I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole of constantly creating emails just to create new accounts. For simplicity, I decided to go with just his scenario, use his video when he stated that it's ridiculous, and put his height and his weight into my profile. Don't worry, I didn't race with it, even though it's only a couple of kilos lighter than me, but still, he's a bit shorter too, which makes actually quite a big difference on the descent. But what speed am I measuring? Average speed or simply the highest speed? It would be way out of my abilities to be able to calculate the average watts that Source was showing that he was saving on the descent. So what I decided to do was just that moment in time, as he was descending off and he was doing the fastest speed, I'm just going to try and match that speed and see how many watts it takes me to do that speed. So ensuring that I had the right weight and height set, wasn't sure what bike he was using, but I kind of winged it. I just did the SL8 with the DT Swiss die-cut 65s, because that's pretty much close enough to, not going to make a big difference. Oh, if you like this video, hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. A little nudge over, let's get on with the rest of it. Okay, so this is the first test. I've got Eric, or Zwift Insider, down the bottom left here, and then my right is obviously the main screen. So I'll just play this. The first thing you'll notice straight away is that I'm a lot further down the hill. I'm just entering the corner now and Eric's a little bit further behind, because as you can see, I'm trying to stick to above the pace partner. I think he was riding with Maria and she does 2.1 or something, but 1.7 it says down the hill. I'm doing 3, just because there is that extra draft that he's getting. It shows that he's getting 700 watts at the moment. I can't do that amount of power the whole way down the hill. So I just wait, I'll pause it here. So now you can see my riders, I've decided, okay, this is a moment I've got to go. Because also what I realized when I had Source originally, or when I've had Source, is that the number it gives you in the draft is actually delayed, because you'll get receiving the information through a third party. And so there's like a second or so delay. So when it shows the draft, like it says 750, that was actually 1 or more seconds ago. Anyway, so I've kicked my power up. I'm doing 727 at the moment. The draft on Zwift Insider says 750. I think I aimed for 900, but I'm not perfect at this. So I think I did more than 900. I'm not sure. We'll see. Yeah, so 934, 775 on Zwift Insider's thing. So I'm probably doing more power than I should be. It's kicking up now to 900, but I've got that momentum already going around that corner. And my speed shows now, I'm doing 80 kilometers an hour and Zwift Insider is doing 79 kilometers an hour. Now, there could be, it's not a decimal point, but it's I'm only doing 1 kilometer an hour faster. I'm doing 875 watts. So there we go, 861, 81 kilometers an hour. Now I'm doing 3 kilometers an hour faster. Someone in the comments can probably talk about the difference between doing, well, the power difference required at 82 versus 79 kilometers an hour. It's probably significant, but for this test, it's not scientific. So I can't call it saying definitely that 900 watts is ridiculous to be doing 79 kilometers an hour. It has jumped up on his screen to 969 watts on source. But as you'll see, as my power drops, I'm doing 82, he's doing 79, 80. I'm doing 79 kilometers an hour now, he's doing 79 kilometers an hour. So this test isn't perfect. He's now doing more than me. Okay, so what this needs is maybe a little bit more power earlier on, but not as much power, not kicking up quite as high straight away. And we'll see with that. So I think that's what I do for test 2. Same thing. It's synced at the moment so that we, just like test 1, we merge at the same point near the bottom of the hill. So obviously, again, I'm further down the hill than he is at the moment. I did less power down the hill this time. I'm at 2.3 rather than 3. Well, I'm kicking up. I wasn't perfect at this. So now, just for comparison's sake at this stage, as we go around this corner, I'm still in front. It would have been really handy if you did this video when they had the Zwift Tour graphics on the ground. It would make it a lot easier. Okay, so now I'm still doing 213 watts. I start kicking it up now. Eric's almost caught me as well. So he's doing 72 and I'm doing 67. And remember, he wasn't pedaling at all during this. So I kick it up to, what does it say, 460, 490, so just below 500 watts. And I'm doing 76 kilometers an hour versus his 79. 3 kilometers an hour difference, which is the same as it was for the first test, but obviously the first test I was going 3 kilometers an hour faster. Anyway, it's only 2 kilometers an hour there. There's 1 kilometer an hour difference. But if you split the difference, it was quite even. I don't know. It doesn't disprove that the source number is ridiculous, because when I did 900 watts, I was only 1 kilometer an hour faster at that moment. When I did 500 watts, I was 3 kilometers an hour slower. And so that's very much in the margin of error for this bro science test to say that you can't definitively say 900 watts at that time was ridiculous at that speed. So the third test, what I did is I pretty much did an all-out effort for the whole hill, just to see how much effort it would take to try and match Zwift Insider doing no effort at all down the hill. So we'll go to that one. Okay, so this one's going to show just me. I'm not fit at all anymore. This is absolutely pretty much all I had from back there. I'm doing 390 watts. I had to do a little rest just as we come into this turn just up ahead, but you'll see, I should have recorded more, but this is Eric now matching me. So we started off, I'm actually ahead of Eric. So it means that he caught up to me doing no effort at all, and I was absolutely going balls to the wall on this effort. Yes, it's it was very small balls on a very big wall, but it was not, I was absolutely maxed out. And he's just having a nice little rest here. He's doing 160 watts at the moment. He's only just going past those two barriers. He's doing 58 and I'm doing 54. I'm actually even on a steeper part of the descent at the moment too, 4% or minus 4%. Okay, so I kick it up as much as I can here for a steady effort. And already we're doing the same speed, and he hasn't actually reached the steepest part yet. So here we go. He's going faster than me now. Doing 0 watts. He's doing 3 kilometers an hour faster than me. Okay, so we enter this corner, the steepest section of the course, and I'm doing 69, I should say, and he's doing 72, so 3 kilometers an hour faster than me. I kick it up here, 420 watts. And here, so at this point, he's doing 78 and I'm doing 76. Or 79. Don't know where I saw 76 from. Let's go back. There he goes. He's doing, wait, no, what am I doing? There's 76 now, 78, 79, 79 kilometers an hour. So his maximum speed was 79 during all that test. My maximum speed was 81, was it? On the first test. 75 for this one. So 75, 76. But you could see the whole way he was catching me down that hill. And in fact, yeah, he's caught me right now. And then riding away, of course he's going to ride away now because I've got no draft whatsoever and I'm dead. I've got no watts. So I dropped down to 66. He's still doing 75 as he's kicked up his watts significantly from 0 to 251 watts. So is Zwift Insider wrong, or is this just a case of source actually not being accurate? Being close, but not accurate. One of the errors, I believe, relates to what he said.
Whoever's on the front right now is not doing 900 watts.
There are many people who ride ahead of the pace partner, and either they're just because it feels too easy for them, just want to go, or they're racing the pace partner up the hill. And then there's a big gap between the pace partner and many, many riders. It's really strung out. And so what ends up happening is the pace partners group ends up having a whole long slew of riders to ride through on the downhill. So there's not one person at the front doing 900 watts. There's just riders overtaking each other all the time. If you're one of those riders that's actually at the front, hit the wind, you'll slow down. And if you don't have anyone coming past you quickly and you'll slow down enough, the pace partner group just flies past you and you have to sprint. Now, does Zwift truly not know what that number is? I'm paraphrasing here a bit, but when they say they don't think it's exact, is it really a case of them not knowing whether it's exact, or is it more of a case of them thinking that not knowing what the number means? What I've been told is that the source and Pedal Games pulls that number from Zwift's own API, so they know there'll be people in the development team who know what that number is. Maybe Source is using a generic bike frame or something for that, which might make sense in terms of, I use the SL8 with quite lightweight wheels. Maybe that number in Source is related to the Zwift steel or carbon bike with the Zwift wheels, which, thinking about it now, probably makes a little bit of sense as to why it might not be accurate as Zwift says. But they should know this because it's an API number. It's a number that's produced by them. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Type away, and if they tell me I'm wrong, I'm going to delete them. And Eric, love your work. I'm looking forward to hearing possibly more about this. I hope that you can ask Zwift specifically about this API number. And maybe you can let us know what the update is, or just let me know or not. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.
Everyone has known that Sauce's draft gauge isn't giving you it's not actually telling you how many watts are being saved. We're not sure what it's telling us, but it's not that. The Zwift has told me internally, I've had conversations with some folks and they've told me, we don't know how Sauce is calculating that draft number, but it's not accurate.